Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, actually nothing at the moment. As you can see, it's another miserable rainy day. Seems the last 2 weekends have just been cruddy. We had family get together yesterday, so I couldn't do anything. And today is just kind of a slow, boring day because it's raining, doing some house cleaning, stuff like that. I'm going to be getting to those DoD lifters in a second. That'll be another video. But what I wanted to talk to you about was last week was my first full week back at work. A car that came in on Friday, a young lady, had just purchased it. And it was a used 2010 Audi Q7, I believe it was. You know, their full-size SUV. And what I wanted to say was, if you have X amount of money to spend on a vehicle, and you've budgeted for that vehicle, make sure the vehicle you're buying, make sure that what you're buying fits your future budget. What do I mean by that? Okay, does your future budget, does it take into account what it costs to maintain the vehicle you're looking to buy? In other words, okay, she bought this 2010 Audi. In all honesty, she had a Kia budget. She had enough money to buy this car. She didn't have enough money to maintain it. Now that's not my problem. That's her problem. And I hate to put it that way, but it's like, if you're gonna hem and haw about what it costs to fix something, know what you're buying first. Just because it looks shiny and nice doesn't mean it's something you should buy. This car in particular, she needed a battery. She came in, she wanted us to replace the battery. She had purchased the battery, but couldn't find anybody to replace it. The battery's under the driver's seat. Now, she just bought this car 2 months ago, okay? The battery's under the driver's seat. Well, guess what? You have to put the seat all the way up and as far back as possible with the butt part tilted up as far as possible to remove the access panels underneath to get the battery out. Well, guess what? The driver's seat was stuck in one position. Couldn't do that. Okay. So we figured, okay, we'll have to unbolt it. Well, guess what? 2 of the bolts in the front were hidden by the upper seat track. You couldn't get on them. Couldn't do anything. So she cried about having to pay for diagnostic fee or whatever to try to figure out what's going on. And she's like, I don't have $60 to spend because we were only going to charge her a half hour's labor to give a quick look to see what we could figure out. She says, I don't have $60 to spend. Well, what in the world do you have an Audi for? Probably one of the more expensive vehicles of a general type of vehicle to own. I mean, you have Audis, Range Rovers, BMWs, Mercedes. Why would you own that kind of stuff if you can't afford to fix it? Makes no sense to me, but whatever. I started giving it a quick look. I also realized she came in with a flat left rear tire. I found there was a nail in the tire. I plugged the tire for her, aired it up. Checked all the other tires, make sure they were full of air. But I went and I realized nothing in the seat worked, nothing at all. I went to the passenger seat. Nothing in that seat worked either. Okay. I'm like, all right, let me check fuses. Because there is a main fuse, actually a main circuit breaker that feeds the power seats in the front. It basically feeds the modules that control the seats. Well, the modules are underneath the seats. Okay. I go take the end caps off of the dashboard. There's rust on the frame of the dashboard. Rust. This is a 2010. It should not have rust. Not like that. Obviously I didn't make a video of the car. I did a quick Google search of the VIN number. The car was a total loss auction car from Florida. It was probably a flood car, total loss. And somebody cleaned it up. I looked underneath the seats, and there's the modules. Everything's all rusted up. I basically put the car outside, told her, look, I'm not even going to charge you for fixing the tire. Apologize, but there's nothing we can do here. It's something I don't want to get involved in because she's crying already about $60, which we didn't even charge her anything. She's crying about $60. She's going to find out that this is going to be a several $1,000 repair more than likely, especially if the module's out, especially with all the rust that was underneath there. The fuse block had corrosion in it. I went to the back because in the right rear is the third fuse block. There's a fuse block on each end of the dashboard. There's one underneath the hood and there's one in the back. I went to the one in the back, opened that up just to take a look, and that thing was all full of corrosion too. So who knows what else is wrong with this vehicle. And it had every warning light in the sun on underneath the dashboard. But could it be because the battery was going dead? She had one of those jumper boxes that she had bought from one of the auto parts stores, and she was using that to start her car. But here's the other thing. If you're looking to buy a used car, I made a video a while back on buying a used car, and I used my Dodge right there as an example. I'm going to make another video in the upcoming future on looking at a car if you want to buy it. Just to give you some pointers. I think it's something good to go over again. But if you know nothing about cars, start looking up. What's the reliability rating of the vehicle? Does it fit your budget? For the life of me, I can't understand when somebody doesn't have money to spend on maintaining a vehicle. Why would you buy a Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche? I've seen that before too. Mercedes, BMW, Range Rover, any of those vehicles. It's not worth it because they are expensive to maintain. Even just oil changes are expensive on most of those vehicles. Yes, you can get a very reliable Volkswagen per se. You can get a very reliable Range Rover, but you got to understand when parts break, they are not cheap to fix. The other thing I wanted to say with that is, like what I did with this vehicle, and I punched in the VIN number. If you're looking at a used car, look at the VIN number, do a Google search on your phone with the VIN number, see if something comes up. I found one time I was doing a repair on a vehicle and I realized the motor had been replaced. So we spoke to the customer. I forgot what the repair was. It was a Honda. Might have been a Pilot or a Ridgeline or something. So we spoke to the customer and said, okay, it had to do with whatever the repair was. I don't remember what it was. But I said, you had the motor replaced, right? Yes. That motor was replaced. It's got 60,000 miles on it. Okay. I did a Google search because the VIN number is directly on a Honda motor. It's on a plate directly on there, the full VIN number from the car. I did a Google search of the VIN number on that motor. It was a totaled Honda Pilot, same year as the car there. It was listed as true mileage unknown. But if I looked in and I found recalls that were done on that car, and the car had over 100,000 miles on it. So, just something to think about it. Do a Google search of the VIN number. See what you're getting yourself into, that's all. May not find anything. You may find something you didn't expect. I didn't expect to find that this car was a total loss sold at an auction. That's how it came up, because it came up as an auction site that sells, that auctions off totaled vehicles. And it was purchased through them. I don't know who purchased it. Doesn't tell me that. Doesn't give me that kind of information. Just tells me that it was purchased through them. So this person bought a totaled vehicle. Does it have a totaled title? I would assume so. It probably has a salvage title. But a lot of people don't even realize they're looking at the title. They have no clue, especially if the place is going to register it for you. A lot of people don't look at that stuff, so they don't even realize they're buying a vehicle that's been totaled or has a total loss or has a salvage title. Anyway, I want you guys to be careful. That's all. Think about what you're doing. Pay attention to what you're doing, and think about the future of the vehicle. Just because it's shiny doesn't mean it's great. That's all. Look at this. All the vehicles I own are clopped out junk boxes, in all honesty. But anyway, that's about it. Be safe. That's all I really want to say. All right, guys. Hope you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. Good, please subscribe. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.